Hi there, I'm Bill Powers. I'm an attorney in North Carolina, and I am answering, once again, questions that we see online. These are public postings. These aren't from clients, but they are questions that I go through them, and some of the better ones, some of the more common ones, I answer. Hopefully to give you some background information about how the legal system works here in North Carolina. This case is good because, our question is good because it asks a series of interrelated issues, mostly involving an outstanding order for arrest. So the question is, and I'm going to paraphrase it, what should I do about an outstanding warrant? And there's a difference between a warrant and an order for arrest that was issued 2 years ago, and I live on the West Coast. Was traveling out of the country, got stopped at the airport, detained in another state. North Carolina did not come back or bring the person back to North Carolina. This is worrisome to me. I didn't know about the charges. What are the next steps? And is there any chance of resolving this without returning to North Carolina? Whew. Well, the reason I picked these questions is they're common questions, and these are the type of questions that are complicated. In fact, as much as I enjoy answering these questions, I regularly have to tell people it's just not a matter of typing something online, getting an easy answer, making a phone call, and dismissing the case. As much as at times I think people wish that were the case, and I understand it's distressing to have a warrant out on you, and here you're on vacation, and you come back in the country, and they say you're under arrest when you go get off the plane. But there's a reason lawyers go to law school. There's a reason why we have law licenses, and it's because it's messy at times, it's complicated at times, and we're dealing with, frankly, in this instance, 3 different states and their respective laws. Now, when we're talking about a warrant for arrest as opposed to an order for arrest, and there are technical differences, and I don't want to get too much of a fine point on this, but normally a warrant for arrest is where someone has brought a charge against you, and the police didn't pick you up right there on the scene. They maybe went to see a magistrate and obtained a warrant, and they're waiting to serve you with that warrant. An order for arrest traditionally would be related to someone who's either already been served by a warrant or already arrested and failed to appear to court, and therefore they issued an order for arrest, or in some instances you'd hear an order of forfeiture where your bond or whatever the terms and conditions of your release were. You had to post a bond, or if you didn't show up to court, you were responsible for that money, but that order of forfeiture means they forfeit those funds, meaning the state gets to keep them. So a warrant, sometimes we see these things stay out there for a substantial period of time, and then we deal with this problem where, like I just said, someone comes back into the airport, and then they're held by the local state way on the West Coast of the country. And then there's this process of what we call governor's warrants, where, and the governors don't actually call one another up. Governor Cooper, who's our governor right now, did not call up, I think it's Jerry Brown, if I remember correctly, where we are right now. They don't actually pick up the phone and say, hey, Jerry, can you send our guy back here? There's a process, though, by which the governors of the state, as the chief law enforcement officer of a particular state, work out sending law enforcement officers to the jurisdiction and bringing them back. Sometimes that involves getting in a car or a van or whatever, and bringing them back to the home state being where the charges took place. Now that's a long way on the West Coast, and unfortunately you can sit in jail for a while before you're released until that state, the cooperating state, realizes that North Carolina is not going to come get you. Can you handle this or have it handled in such a way that you don't have to come back to North Carolina? Maybe. That's where a lawyer would help to pull the documentation to see what the outstanding warrant is, see if there are any police reports or victim statements or anything like that. Make contact with the district attorney's office and see, are the witnesses still available? Is the company or if you had stolen something from a company, are they still in business? Do they still have employees to be able to prove the case? Is it a misdemeanor? Is it a felony? And that's where there's a discourse between the professionals to see what's going on and determine whether it's something that can be handled relatively quickly. Now, some jurisdictions say no. Tell you what, have your person come back, have the process served on them, have them turn themselves in, get out of jail, whatever the conditions are. Once we do, that'll activate the file. Once the file is activated, we will give you the discovery as may be required if it's a felony in North Carolina, and we'll talk then. Other jurisdictions, if they're wanting to clear very, very old things off their records or just clear the inventory, there are instances where we could pick up the phone and say, Blockbuster video. This is a good example. We had this in North Carolina probably about a year ago now, where there was an outstanding warrant for somebody who did not return a Blockbuster video. The fact that we've been talking about the video is kind of funny now. And that company went out of business. So there was this outstanding warrant. Someone actually got arrested, taken to jail, had to post a bond just up the road from us in Concord, North Carolina. And they got arrested, and there was no business to prosecute. So there are times, there are circumstances. That's an extreme one, that's an unusual one, but there are times where we're able to talk to DA and say, this is kind of silly. Give us a call. We're here to help. We offer free consultations. It's confidential. We don't talk about it. We don't post your personal information online or get a skywriter or anything like that. If we think we can help you, we'll let you know. If we think it's something that requires your returning to North Carolina, we'll let you know that as well. The telephone number is 704-342-HELP, 704-342-4357. My name's Bill Powers, and I'm here to help you. Good question. Thanks for asking it.